today we're talking about sports facilities, and the agenda will be the type of sport and recreational facilities that we're working on, the sound in those facilities, type of speakers that we can use, applications and designs of those facilities, and also safety solution for sports complex. Well, there's different type of sports complex, such as hockey arenas, soccer inside the stadiums, larger or smaller stadium inside or outside, field house running tracks, gymnasiums, aquatic center, equestrian facilities as well. And that's all sports venue where we can be part of the integration of audio systems. So what are the main challenge for audio integration in sport facilities? The most problematic one will be the reverberation condition that we are gonna find in those spaces. And sometimes if the complex is fairly large, we will have to cover all areas if we have or we don't have bleachers. We might have to be adaptable also to different type of setups for different type of activities going on. Let's say we have big crowds or no crowds, depending on the type of performance also that is given in a specific venue. Let's think about gymnasium where we have some competitions going and there's a large crowd. We won't need the same type of output from our system than if we have only practices going on and just a small bunch of people in the venue. Another problem that we'll have to address is time delay. So that will be the difference in the broadcasting from every speakers. Controllability of the system, content input for different setup, indoor or outdoor systems, but also safety for the people in the venue. So obviously, indoor or outdoor will have different types of equipment needed. We'll have to pick up and choose the right speakers, especially, and the right type of hardware to mount in those venues, depending if they're inside or outside. And we'll also have to think about the integration and how you're going to install those equipment. So that will include also other types of hardware and tools in order to be able to install them at the proper site. Also, especially for outdoor, you will need to choose the right equipment in order to have the right amount of SPL in regards of the venue that you're addressing without distortion. One of the most problematic ones will be aquatic centers because of the nature of those pool sites. You will have a lot of reverberation. A lot of them will have reflective surface. The first of it will be the water, obviously, but normally it's all hard surface, and often also we'll have to work with many windows inside the venue. So those are fairly hard space for acoustic performance and to be able to produce a good system with a good STI or a good intelligibility in the venue. So a conventional speaker might not be the right pickup for this type of venue, because the conventional speaker will broadcast on a very omnidirectional pattern, the audio, and since there's so many reflective surface when it arrives to the ear of the people in the venue, well, you'll have a lot of echo and not too much intelligibility. So many hard surface to work with. You want to get your audio the right place and keeping out of the reflecting surface as much as possible. And you want to control your audio dispersion in order to keep your intelligibility as high as possible. The right choice will probably be using linear speakers, as those speakers will have a way more directional pattern of broadcasting, especially on the vertical axis. So keeping your audio more into a more directional pattern will help you to keep the intelligibility to the people inside the venue. There's a different type of line arrays. One of them is our new HX7 model. Those are variable dispersion compact array. The HX7 has a pattern of 0 to 60 degrees on a vertical axis, controllable dispersion factor. And the HX7 is composed of two 5-inch speakers and a compression driver for the high frequency. The HX5 will have 4 4-inch drivers and 3 tweeters per each model. One speaker is a set of 4 in both models. So, and they're both mounted on a steel frame that will allow you to set the box to the right vertical dispersion factor for your application. Normally, if you work with us on your project, we'll be able to modelize your venue and help you to set up exactly how you're going to aim the speaker, and how many box, how many sets of them you will need in order to have the right setup for your venues. And those are other tools that might be available for you within our technical support team. We have complete ease or ease focus modulation available. Also, we'll have to talk about adaptability and how we need to fit our location. We might have different types of areas to reach with our audio systems. On the right, you see a picture of it's a running track facility, and we have the HX5 that are installed there, and just underneath, we don't see them, but the bleachers are there. So the HX5s are mainly to reach the audience, and we have long throw horns in the middle of them that are there to reach the track and field situation. Also, we might have to talk about zoning for this type of venues. Sports complex might be composed of several zones. Some larger sports complex might have ice rink, a gymnasium, even inside soccer areas. So those will all have different type of needs, and also a type of different noise level for ambient noise. So we see how we can address that. And also, depending on the size and the type of venue, you might have bleachers or not. And those are some processors that can be used in those type of venues. The DSP3 is a DSP that will mainly do speaker management for you. The DPL2 is an ambient noise processor. So basically, with the utilization of the AN9001, which is a microphone attached to it, the DPL2 will take measurement of the ambient noise level in the facility in order to adjust the output of your system accordingly to the ambient noise in a specific zone. Other processors that might be used also is our DSP M864D, which is basically 12 by 4 matrix and DSP. And the 9000 M2 is also a very popular series that we'll be using for this type of venues. The 9000 M2 is an 8 by 8 matrix. The good thing also for those type of venue is that the 9000 will give you the ability to do some zone paging per telephone if need be, or microphone to reach a specific zone. Another problem that we have to deal with in those venues is the sound delay or the time delay between the speakers. Since if we look at the center picture, we normally, for an ice arena, have a center cluster and other speakers for the bleachers around the ice. And the audio is not reaching from each of the speakers, the ears of the auditors at the same time. So this is basically creating some confusion, and especially if there's a lot of reflective surface and a lot of reverberation, it's even worse. The intelligibility drops down dramatically if it is not well achieved and well controlled. So normally, we would apply some time delays to the set of speakers in order to be able to have the sound arrive at the same time. That's a typical window of a DSP that will give you the ability to control the set of speakers for time delay. Depending on the software, you'll have ability to control it like it's illustrated here with the distance between each set of speakers. Or it also can be adjusted manually by measuring the clicks that you will be broadcasting over the speaker. So if the audio is not arriving at the same time, then you will have to adjust it and make sure that the click gets exactly at the same time from everywhere in order to have a good intelligibility over your system. Control of the system is also something that is important for a sport complex, especially the larger ones, as the end user will want the ability to control each zone of the system. Might it be a larger complex with different type of rooms like an ice rink and other gymnasiums, or smaller rinks in the same complex. So this is an iPad app for the M864D that will give the end user control over its systems. Other different type of control also available to us for those type of venue are the wall mount controllers for the 9000 series that also fits the M864D, and those come in different type of formats depending on the needs. Might be as we see there, only assignable buttons on the left, or assignable buttons with a button for volume, or it could be only a pot for volume also available to us for controlling the volume of a specific zone. And in the middle, we have the SOM XT, which is a remote plate where you can connect a source and a microphone. It is actually a little remote mixer. You can use both inputs, the microphone and the line inputs, in order to have two sources directly in a zone. Would give you also control over the volume of those input and microphones, and control over the bass and treble frequencies. Wireless microphones are often used in sport complex for different type of activities. Let's think about the aerobic session where the coach is in front of them, pumping them up. Normally they will use a headset microphone, wireless. And now the safety portion of it. Well, TOA is now ULC S576 approved in Canada for mass notification for the audio portion. And design can be made for a sport complex under those regulations in order to be able to broadcast not only the PA, but the voice evacuation portion of a system. And just to mention the bird nest in Beijing that was totally designed for voice evac by TOA. So basically, those systems will give us the ability to reach up to 60 zones in order to broadcast some safety messages or emergency messages. We see here the example of the system VM3000 with 6 zones per chassis. And with the capacity to expand up to 10 chassis and give you up to 60 different zones. You can attach to those specific fireman's microphone or remote microphone. It will also give you the ability to broadcast background music all over the complex, and also be part of the PA if need be, or mute the PA if any emergency arrives in the sport venue. Certain of the speakers used for mass notification, those are all approved ULC for signaling, so we have one of the best choice at this time for ULC listed safety speakers, different types of horns, might be the SC or the CS version. We have our ceiling speakers in the PC and the F series ceiling speakers that are also under this regulation, and the PE series 304 and 604 30 watt or 60 watt that are now ULC listed for voice evacuation and mass notification. SX2000 is a larger system. Actually, some very large project has been designed with that. It's an IP-based system, so component can be spread all around the site in order to facilitate the integration of the system. Excuse me. And also even can be decentralized over a campus, let's say for university, or even we can think about railway stations or very large shopping malls, etc.